Hey, welcome back. My name is Sushant Sutish, and I am your instructor for this AZ-104 Azure Administrator Associate Certification course. In this video, we're going to go through Inter-Site Connectivity Module Review Questions. So we just finished the Module 5. There were 4 lessons we have learned, including VPN gateways, different ways of connecting to Azure. Let's go and do a knowledge check based on what we have learned so far. You want to connect different VNets in the same region as well as different regions and decide to use VNet peering to accomplish this. Which of the following is the true benefit of VNet peering? And we need to select 2 to complete the whole solution. So I'm basically going to read out the statement to find if that statement is true or not. The first statement is the virtual network can exist in any Azure cloud region. That is not true. The virtual network cannot exist in any cloud region. The second statement is the network traffic between peered virtual network is private. Absolutely true. Peering is easy to configure and manage and requiring little to no downtime. Absolutely correct as well. It's super easy to configure the VNet peering. And the last statement is gateway transit can be configured regionally or globally. That is wrong. So peering is efficient as there is no downtime to resources in either virtual network when creating the peering or after peering is created. And also for security, network traffic between peered virtual network is private. The traffic between virtual network is kept on the Microsoft backbone network. While virtual network can exist in any Azure public cloud region, they cannot exist in Azure National Cloud. The national clouds have very specific customer requirement to their use and operation. These services are confined within the geographic border of specific countries and operated by local personnel. So the gateway transit only applies to regional VNet peering and not to the global VNet peering. Let's look at the question number 2. Your company is preparing to implement a site-to-site VPN to Microsoft Azure. You are selected to plan and implement the VPN. Currently, you have an Azure subscription, an Azure Virtual Network, and an Azure Gateway subnet. You need to prepare the on-premises environment and Microsoft Azure to meet the prerequisites of the site-to-site VPN. Later, you will create the VPN connection and test it. What should you do? And we have to select 3 answers to complete the solution. Alright, so let's read out the options. So what we are trying to achieve over here is you're trying to prepare the on-premises environment and Microsoft Azure to meet the prerequisites of site-to-site VPN. So keep that in your mind when you're reading these solutions. The first statement is obtain a VPN device for the on-premises environment. Absolutely, we need an on-premises device to set up the site-to-site VPN, correct? Obtain a VPN device for Azure environment, which is completely wrong. You don't need a device in Azure environment, you only need a gateway. Third statement is create a virtual network gateway and local network gateway in Azure. Absolutely correct. So you need to create a gateway and a local network gateway in Azure to set an establishing connection between on-prem environment and Azure. The next statement is create a virtual network gateway express route in Azure. So we are trying to create a site-to-site VPN, not an express route. So that is wrong. Next statement is obtain a public IPv4 IP address without NAT for using VPN device. Absolutely correct. So you need a IPv4 address without a NAT address for your VPN device. So we got our 3 statements right. So last statement is obtain IPv4 address behind the NAT. So that is completely wrong. So we don't need NAT for the VPN devices. So the prerequisites for the site-to-site VPN are having a compatible VPN device on premises, having a public IPv4 without a NAT on on-premises device, and creating a VPN gateway and local gateway in Azure. Please note that the IPv6 is not supported for VPNs, and ExpressRoute is a different setup and not part of the site-to-site VPN. Okay, let's look at the question number 3. Your company is preparing to implement persistent connectivity to Microsoft Azure, and your company has a single site headquarters which has an on-premises data center. The company establishes the following requirements for the connectivity. The connectivity must be persistent, and the connectivity must provide for the entire on-premises site. You need to implement a connectivity solution to meet the requirement. So what should you do? We just need to pick one answer to complete the solution. Is it implementing a point-to-site VPN? Definitely not. That is not going to resolve the issue. That is for one-to-one connection. Is it to implement VNet to VNet VPN? Again, that is to connect two networks together. Is it to implement VGW or VPC? Definitely not. So the correct answer is implement a site-to-site VPN. In this scenario, only one of the answers provide the persistent connectivity to Azure, which is site-to-site VPN. A VNet to VNet connects two Azure virtual networks together. A point-to-site VPN is used for individual connection. A VPC and VGW are relevant for Amazon AWS. Alright, so let's look at question number 4. You are configuring VNet peering across two virtual networks, VNet 1 and VNet 2, and you are configuring the VPN gateways. You want VNet 2 to able to use the VNet 1's gateway to get the resources outside the peering. So what should you do? You just need to select one. So I'm going to read out the statements from below to see if that makes any sense. Do not select allow gateway transit to use remote gateways on either VNet 1 or VNet 2. Not the right answer. And we have select allow gateway transit on all three answers. We just need to select allow gateway transit on VNet 1 and use remote gateways on VNet 2. So that is the correct answer. Select allow gateway transit on VNet 1 and use gateways on VNet 2. VNet 1 will allow VNet 2 to transit external resources, and VNet 2 will expect to use a remote gateway. Let's look at question number 5. You are configuring a site-to-site VPN connection between your on-premises network and Azure network. The on-premises network uses a Cisco ASA VPN device, and you have checked to ensure the device is on a validated list of VPN devices. Before you proceed to configure the device, what two pieces of information should you ensure to have? You need to select two. Is it the shared access signature key for the recovery services vault? Definitely not. That is for DR and backup. Is it the shared key you provided when you created the site-to-site VPN connection? Absolutely correct. So you need to have the shared key you provided when you created the site-to-site VPN connection. So what is the next answer? Is it the gateway routing method provided when you created the site-to-site connection? Definitely not. Is it the static IP address of your virtual network gateway? We don't need the static IP address, but we need the public IP address. So the next statement is the public IP address of your virtual network gateway. That is correct. So those two are our correct answers. So you will need two things, the shared key and the public IP address of your virtual network gateway. The shared key was provided when you created the site-to-site VPN connection. Let's look at question number 6. You manage a large data center that is running out of space. You propose extending the data center to Azure using multi-protocol label switching virtual private network. Which connectivity option should you select? So we are trying to extend the data center using a multi-protocol label switching. So the correct answer for that is Express Route. Express Route is the best choice for extending the data center as it can use an any-to-any IPVPN connectivity model. An MPLS VPN, typically provided by an IPVPN networks, enables connectivity between Microsoft Cloud and your branch offices and data centers. Let's look at question number 7. You are creating a connection between two virtual networks. Performance is a key concern. Which of the following will most influence performance? You need to select one. If performance is the key concern, do you think selecting a route-based VPN is gonna resolve the problem? Definitely not. Do you think selecting a policy-based VPN is gonna solve the problem? Definitely not. And it is definitely not gonna resolve if you specify a DNS server. So the correct answer is ensuring you select an appropriate gateway SKU. So the gateway SKU selection directly affects performance. The gateway SKU control the number of tunnels and connections that are available. This affects the overall aggregate throughput of the connection. Let's look at the last question. Your manager asks you to verify some information about Azure virtual WANs. Which of the following statements are true? And you need to select 3 choices. Alright, so I'm going to read out each statement to see if that is true or false. You must use one of the approved connectivity partner providers. That is false. You must use VPN device that provide IKE version 2 and version 1 IPsec support, which is true. Virtual WAN support Express Route. Again, that is true. And virtual WAN support site-to-site connection as well. Again, that is true. Virtual WAN does not support point-to-site connection. That is false. Virtual WAN support point-to-site connection as well. You can switch between the basic and standard plans. No, you can't switch between basic and standard plans. So the virtual WAN support Express Route and any VPN device that is IPE version 2 and version 1 IPsec compliant. So that concludes the module 5 for us. So we just finished module 5, the entire lessons and the review questions. And we are going to enter a brand new module, which is module 6, which is all about network traffic management. And the first lesson we are going to learn is all about network routing and endpoints. So I will see you on the next video. Till then, take care.